So, I got sued buying my house in Italy, my villa, my dream. There's good news and there's bad news. And welcome to Beyond Borders with Chad. I started this process back in last April, the actual process of buying a property in Italy. And it is now almost April again. And I still don't have my property, but I got a bunch of money in Italy waiting on my villa with the lemon tree. Here's the story. So it's been since last April that I started the deep dive into this purchase. And I made some offers on some places and didn't get them because of just, I guess let's just call it not being lucky enough. But when I did get this property under contract around June or May of last year, I was pretty excited. And the auction company I'm working with, told me that it should be, maybe 3 months before I could get in there. And things would just move along smoothly. They haven't. This property has been occupied by the seller since the property was built in 1984, and then around 1993 they went into foreclosure. And back then the market wasn't very active in the south of Italy, and they were able to put this off auction after auction after auction until I finally made this bid. And every auction that they do, the price drops. The appraisal of the property can be here, and they may start out here, and then auction after auction, usually every year, it goes down in price. After I made my bid, I had gone to Italy because they wanted certified Italian funds, and I flew over to make sure that that would happen. And the bank wouldn't let me open a bank account because I didn't have a local address. You might remember that part. Then I paid more money to have the auction company pay for my purchase. I sent them the wire, and then they sent it over to the municipality, and then it was done. And we were right around the early fall. After that, I thought everything was cool, and it was like, oh, we got hung up just a little bit, and by Christmas I'd be in. The next thing that happened is all of a sudden my auction company is telling me that I've been sued, and that's what the delay is. Sued by the seller to annul the auction result. What they used to justify this was that I didn't have a local domicile in Italy, and I didn't have an Italian social security number. So they wanted to nullify this auction. Now, mind you, these people for like 28 years have been getting notices, having their property go to auction time and time again, but they thought they had made it through the system, I guess, because people weren't bidding on it. Now, the value of the property is significantly more than what I paid for it, and they thought they'd throw a wrench in it by suing me over this. So then we had to wait some more and get the date of a hearing, which was December 10th. And then after that date of the hearing, the judge would make his decision whenever he wanted to make his decision and could get to it. 30 days later, January 8th, when I was in Colombia, I find out that we are good. We won the case. And I'm told you get to wait again. And in the meantime, because this is so much brain damage, the contacts at the auction company don't want to really have much to do or talk to you about because, I don't know, they're either drinking cappuccino or they are, not happy themselves. But at any rate, what you have to do if you want to get some kind of, in my situation, what I had to do to get some kind of response was blow them up and tell them I would blow them up again and again and again until I got a response. Then again, I'm told the next step will be that the judge will sign the deed, and then I get to wait 60 days and another 60 days, depending on if the current occupant is going to do what they need to do, which is move out, or if they're not, in which case a full-on eviction has to happen in the next 60 days, right? And I hope I'm not boring you, but here is how long and how many actions have taken place in my purchase. Take a look, enjoy. And I don't know if you know this, but in Italy, when they have their holidays, everything stops. Everything stops. So I waited through the Christmas. Then they told me on the 8th that I won, and the lawsuit. And after that, then I get to wait again for the judge to decide to sign the transfer document of the deed. I've been waiting on that, and it is now the middleman for that has now delivered that. It's kind of like the title company. They've delivered that to the judge, and the judge then decides to sign off on it and begin the eviction process. But guess what? The seller, the owner, the former owner, doesn't want to leave. So they petitioned the court again to have a meeting with the judge and I guess explain how they're having a problem leaving the house because it's been 28 years anyway, right? I wish somebody would let me live in a house for 28 years without paying on my mortgage. That would be lovely. We don't get it that way here, though, do we? Not in the States. Not really, I don't think. Maybe anywhere but Italy. Now, I know everybody joined this channel to see, like, oh, he bought a house in Italy. He's got the villa. He's fixing it up. It's going to be awesome and all of that. And I started this because I thought, well, you better get on it ahead of time so that you're building your likes, your subscribes, and your ring the bells. So when you get over there, you'll kind of have a little bit of a following to check out what you're doing. And I guess I started too soon because now, by the time I close this and get the keys, las llaves in Spanish, it'll be a year. It'll certainly have been a year or more before this comes together and I actually get to do what I wanted to do. That's why you kind of got some filler with the traveling, and we'll get some more because I'm trying to keep you interested anyway. And I'm trying to get you to like and subscribe so that when I do get the last minute notice, which certainly it's going to be, that the former owner has turned the keys over to the middleman, the third party, to give me access to the house. That is, that's when things will get going around here, but it's gonna probably get going the way they do it in Italy. There's no rush on their part, but on your part, you have to be at it. You can't screw up a letter. Everything has to be ship shape and perfect for you. But for them, they're like, oh, we're gonna be off for 2 weeks and then this will happen and maybe we'll get back to you. And I can't wait to be able to live that lifestyle. But in the meantime, I'm gonna have to create content. I'm gonna have to pay my bills. I'm gonna have to work like I've been working my whole life. And eventually, you'll get to see me up on a ladder, picking lemons off of my lemon tree and beginning my life in Italy. So again, love it if you like and subscribe. I'd so love it. Just something happy today for me. Even one person would be great. And then I'll keep you updated. But really the concept is, I'm also trying to show people that it's not just I'm buying a house in Italy and I'm headed out there tomorrow or next week we get on the plane and we're gonna go shopping. And if you're dealing certainly with these auction properties, it is a long process and you have to be ready to deal with it. And if you think, well, I've got 30 years in real estate, I've been licensed in different, states and have sold this many houses and have owned this many houses and have flipped this many houses and I'm the real pro. Yeah, you really need to understand it is a complete different environment and maybe one that you'll enjoy once you get there. But in the meantime, there's gonna be brain damage. So get ready for it. It's out there, and I guess that will make it that much better when you or I actually land there and can begin the new life. We'll catch you on the next one. Looks like there's gonna have to be another little trip somewhere in the world between now and I guess what will be April or May or June or July or the second coming of Christ, whatever it is. But probably by the end of spring, it looks like this should be wrapped up unless these people pull something crazy with the judge and they get the judge to not sign the transfer document that will begin the eviction process. And so stay tuned. See you later.